Hi everyone, I'm Nathan Birch.
And I'm Daniel Young.
And we're from Be Invested. Woohoo! No, just here today to talk a little bit about our backgrounds and just our story and about Be Invested and why we are and who we are and where it all started from. From my side of things, I grew up in Western Sydney, blue collar working family, hard workers, all that sort of stuff. From my side of things, I didn't want to get stuck into a job I hated working. I never wanted to work, but I knew I had to work, and I knew I had to work hard if I wanted to, live life on my terms and have cool things happening. So, growing up as a kid, just a little bit about my life. My parents couldn't afford cool cars. My dad's car came from the wreckers. It was $150 for the car because his old car broke down. I wanted to be able to build a life where I could enjoy cool things in life, and I knew that if I could sacrifice 10, 15 years of my life, work really hard and achieve the cool things I want in life, I can, not just live a life of, abundance in the future, but the fact that I could, change the state of my family and all that sort of stuff. So my children can have, cool things in their life. I can provide for my siblings, their children, all those sorts of things as well. So today, my property portfolio's in triple digits. It's ever growing from that. My personal property portfolio is over $30 million. My net worth's over $20 million just in property itself in my own portfolio. I was fortunate enough to be able to adapt a strategy. I was excited by property when I was 13 years old. I couldn't sign a contract till I was 18 years old. At the age of 24, I quit my job with a small passive income coming in. I knew I had to keep working somehow. And I started making YouTube videos, started helping out other people because it was all about, it was cool and it was exciting, building a group of friends that had the same interest and passion that I did. And, I started helping people, things started going viral. And, it's been an awesome journey, a lot of hard work, a lot of stress. When I first started, investing in property, even when I first started, making the YouTube videos and getting them out there to you guys, I didn't have as many grey hairs as what I do today, but it's all been fun. I'm in the process of building my dream end goal house, which would be 2,200 square metres of house. With that, I worked out that the mortgage repayments on that, if I was to get a loan for the amount of building construction cost, would be about $12,000 a month in extra interest repayments only. How do you afford that? Like, that's massive. What I did is I built the foundation portfolio. I've got my property sitting in the portfolio. I went and reviewed all my properties, and then I was looking at the position of I can increase my rents to support my lifestyle, and that's what it's all about. Hundreds of investors that we've helped out over the years closely, that we've worked with, being able to achieve the same sort of things in their life, and it's really humbling to be a part of people's lives and see them grow and develop and share the knowledge, share the resources. It's not about money. We're very, very candid at Be Invested about working with people that are committed with working with us and wanting to achieve their own goals.
Yeah, so I was brought up with working class parents. I was born here. I saw my parents work hard their whole lives. We never had a lot of money. My parents always ingrained me from an early age, study hard. Where possible, don't borrow money, debt's bad, always try and pay it off as quick as you can. And that was kind of the advice I was growing up with. I looked at my family and friends around me and did the same thing. No one really invested in properties. And to me, when I was in my mid-20s, I kind of, had that light bulb moment where I was just going to spend my money on another car. And instead of doing that, if I spent all my after-tax dollars buying another car, which I was just passionate about, I realized by the time I was 35 or 45 or 55, I'll be in the same position where I have cool things, but I was still stuck to my work or to my own business, etc. Having what my parents ingrained in me from a young age, I realized that although that is their advice, it's very conservative advice, it hasn't got them to financial freedom. And I figured if I wanted to do something different, then, if I want to get different results, I have to do something drastically different to them. And that's when I started researching properties. I had my own goals of, wanting to earn a certain passive income myself, and then after I hit that, then I was setting up my family and then being able to give back to community. That's what pushed me so hard along the way, that I wanted to have financial freedom so I could utilize my time for whatever my highest purpose was. But now, we've got a decent portfolio that provides for our lifestyle, has provided for our families and stuff. I know the struggles I had when I wanted to buy property. I knew that I needed some sort of assets, and to me properties was the safest. But there was just so much information out there. Where do I get the right advice? How do I know I've got the right accountant that can give me the right advice on how to structure a large portfolio? How do I know which bank to go to? I went to the first bank I went to was one my parents used for 40 years, and that didn't work well at all. And then I just jumped to another bank until I realized I got stuck. Which is the best lender? Is someone giving me advice because it's better for them, i.e. they get more commissions, or they just work with the bank for longer, or is it better for me? Even legal advice, a solicitor or conveyancer, yeah, they cost a bit of money in each property, but if they miss something critical or something in the special conditions or clauses, it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So, when you're talking about large sums of money, are you getting the right advice? To build a large portfolio successfully in a short amount of time, you don't have time to make mistakes or errors. And that's where me and Nathan have spent years getting the right people around us. We've often used them for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then eventually brought them into the Be Invested group of companies to be able to provide that service for our clients. And it's a lot of those businesses aren't money-making businesses. We've never made a profit out of it, but it's about providing a service for clients that want to take the same footsteps we have, to educate clients. So hopefully they don't make them same mistakes, and they can have a much smoother run with property than what we did and just learn by trial and error.
The culture of Be Invested, the brand of Be Invested, the family of Be Invested is quite unorthodox. It's not your typical sort of property company. We do things because we want to do it, not because we have to do it, and that's a big difference. I really want you to think about that for a moment, that we do stuff because we want to and we're passionate about it, and our commitment is that we don't ever let anyone fail. Just backing up what Dan said about the monetary side of things, like saving and all that. I remember when I used to staple my socks together. I remember when I used to eat for $1 a day using mouldy bread from Coles when they sell it for cheaper, and you put it in the freezer and you go and use that for the week. We've seen people from all different walks of life come in to Be Invested, whether they be migrants that have just come to the country, whether they be born here, whether they've been money, whether they have no money to start off with, and they work their way up to being able to afford their first deposit for their first property, and then they flourish from there. If I can do it, if Dan can do it, I got 32.8 in my UAI. It's like, if I was at any less than 32%, I would have had a mystery mark. We're humbled to be a part of helping other people, and we constantly get feedback from people coming up to us in the streets, realising where we're from, realising where we are in different states, in different, wherever we are, we have people coming up to us, and it's really humbling.
I think first thing that is most people's hurdle, it is mindset. People are in the same position because that's what their mind tells them is what they're capable of. And what we try to do is, obviously we surrounded ourselves with passionate people that are passionate about property. If any of you meet anyone in our team, you'll know they're just as passionate about property as we are, and that's why they are part of our team. And if you surround yourself with like-minded people with the same mindsets, that is how you're going to achieve success. Because most of the time we're just surrounded by people that have a negative mindset or small mindsets, or just telling you everything that can't be done, or why you won't succeed, or why it's too risky. And if me and Nathan or anyone from our team can assist you with their passion and with what they know in property from years of doing it, then that's why we do it, so that we can be part of your journey in whichever capacity that we can be.